I guess they're destined to win, I guess, because this is a prequel? Or maybe they are not destined to win. They could still lose, even the main character.
I doubt it. Quite obviously going to be Gilgamesh versus Saber. I don't know how else this thing would end. As much as I prefer Alexander, there's no way this thing isn't Saber versus Gilgamesh at the end. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Fate Zero. Once again, thank you to SFR for sponsoring these. We do have some comments. First up, from SFR, from the Patreon, from the episode where justice is found. About the prototype weapons, I think, without real lore research, during the God's Age, the law of the world is mystery, which is an environment full of true ether. You operate things on thoughts, nearly magical, / produce things as accurate as concept, but when it comes to human's age, we degrade further into material level. Surface of Earth changed, governed by more laws and hence more restrictions within it. Modern creation may surpass its prototype in complexity due to complexity of human age's world, a reality combined of mind plus material, becoming more practical in particular needs, but never able to remain its pure form / balanced triad, and very hard to be realized again. In short, prototype is those core concepts, which is the base shared by many I'm just adding words, aren't there? Which is the base shared by many second creation later on. They degrade when recreated with weaker apparatus / world.
Which would be the opposite in most cases, you're using the word prototype, because the prototype is the first time you go at it, and as it gets refined into something specific, that secondary object should be better. Not always.
As they pointed out, it's because of the world they're being created in. The person who can create an object with their mind and instantly form into reality the thing exactly as they want it to be in pure perfect form is better than the modern world where the thing has to be crafted and is more practical, but is not the purest version of the thing that you wanted to make. Again, we're talking about the God reality versus human reality.
So, essence, prototype is not prototype of a sword. It is a prototype of sword. The concept of sword, right?
That's been proven to be true. It's not proven to be true because remember that Gilgamesh has I forgot who I was talking about. Gilgamesh has prototypes of specific swords. He has a whole armory of swords, not just the prototype sword.
It would make, I think, more sense if it were the way I describe it, but...
Well, of course. The world would make so much more sense to me if everything worked the way I said it did. I mean, to me, anyway, it would, because I'm the one who's thinking these things. It's the same for you. Everything for you would make a lot more sense if everything went exactly the way you said it would.
True.
And at the end of the day, I don't know, based on all the comments we've ever gotten, that the Type of Moon universe does make sense. This one thing is the only thing I've gotten so far, to the point that every comment has agreed with me and then tried to explain it to you again. So that I just have to keep having to step in and be like, no, this is what they're saying. To be fair, it could just be that they're getting on you and I'm wrong too. I wouldn't know. Because every time it feels like I'm saying what they're saying and no one's corrected me, but they've kept trying to explain it to you, so... All right. Next up we have SFF 1988 from Where Justice is Found. They put timestamps on all of these, so I'm gonna read the timestamps just for the sake of if you want to figure out what they're talking about. Do remember though, they don't apply to the video you're currently watching. They apply to the video previous in this playlist.
They commented on. Yeah.
Commented on. I heard you say commended on.
Yeah, no, that was wrong. The moment I said it, I was like, no.
720, important rule or talking about the main Fate timeline, Zero, Fate Stay Night, etc., we don't talk about the moon. Sorry, full caps.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Okay.
The Nossiverse lore hilariously convoluted, especially if you add in the paradoxically canon alternate timelines. 3615. This is an often misquoted line. The full phrase with the partial omissions is blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means the exact opposite of what you're arguing for. It's probably something I said.
Oh, but I don't recall what you just said. So
I said something like blood is thicker than water, and they're like, well, actually, the quote is blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which is the exact opposite. Blood is thicker than water. 43. Utilitarianism, huh? Interesting concept, LOL.
I'm not a utilitarian for the most part.
I think I might be. I think I might be only from the aspect of I think literally everything I've ever argued about with Gundam Seed Destiny is a utilitarian point of view.
Yeah.
I think I might be when it comes to fictional realities. I don't know that I would be in reality. Because as I've indicated before, the arguments that I make for Gundam Seed Destiny aren't specifically thoughts that I would want to apply to the real world, but could see as being the best thing for this world. And I mean this, I again don't mean this world. You guys can't see my hand gestures. I'm going to think this world as the Gundam Seed Destiny world. Also the worst theme park. Gundam Seed Destiny world.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I studied, among other things, a lot of philosophy back in college, which was a long time ago. Didn't get into I did a lot of classical philosophy, none of the later utilitarian and other late 19th century to 20th century philosophy.
Most of the philosophy that I ever even looked at comes from the good place. When you listen to Chidi talk about what different philosophers think about
Kantian
stuff.
philosophies, Aristotelian philosophy. I've probably forgotten more than I remember right now, but yeah, that was usually.
Well, again, as per a previous comment we made, getting old.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I think utilitarianism is like I said, might be what I actually am because it's my go-to. It's where I tend to go when I'm talking about stuff. Is what's better for everybody.
Neoplatonism, yeah.
Well, specifically at the cost of others. What's best for everybody. Remember my 1% for 99% Gundam Seed Destiny talk. Again,
yeah.
You want more utilitarianism, listen to me talking Gundam Seed Destiny. I don't specifically even remember what I was talking about in Fate Zero, though. Maybe see, last episode was all about the wasps or bees on the plane. So I don't remember what would have been utilitarianism there.
I think the shooting down of the plane, I think it was.
I don't think that would be an argument because everybody was a zombie on that plane. So it's like, what's best for anybody? Maybe the landing of the plane? Letting the plane land? Well, then again, what was that? What was that show with the vampires? The first episode is the plane lands and everyone's dead. And it's like, how did the fucking plane land? And then there's a coffin inside of it. Which, if you think about it, now that I'm for the first time actually thinking about it, literally just Dracula.
That's what was the name of the ship?
I can't remember. Literally, a movie just came out, I think, last year, which was literally the ship's name. But it was literally everything that happens on that ship. Like, let's make a horror movie about the events of what must have happened on that ship that only is basically written into the novel as ship doesn't crash, but drifts into harbor, no one on board. Well, one person on board. And I don't mean Dracula, I meant Renfield. I couldn't remember. I mean, technically Dracula's on board too.
There's a movie called Renfield as well.
I did watch that, Nicolas Cage. It's pretty... Yeah. To our good versus quality argument before, it's pretty good, not quality. Typical Nicolas Cage fare, though. I particularly like when Dracula tries to control the modern-day mafia. All right, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Kodamine's backstory in a nutshell: he's a sociopath, feels bad for being one, got married to see if that can fix him, had daughter, wife died, still no empathy, was more disappointed about that than the dead wife, but pretended to be grieving to keep up appearances. I feel like a lot of that after he's a sociopath was just sociopath things.
Yeah.
Like especially the to keep up appearances. Bringing up Gundam Seed Destiny again, read my "this is what Durandal is" statement.
Oof, that ending. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we might have to talk about that tomorrow.
We will.
1 hour, 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Oh boy, recent events with SIG really puts that into question, lol. SIG.
Fun, isn't it?
What?
Gun manufacturer? 6 hour? No.
I don't know if that's... So the problem is that if this is where the time code of him doing the rocket launcher, that doesn't make any sense. SIG. I don't know if that's the time code of it. I was just trying to think in my head. That's really the only weapon that gets fired that I can recall. SIG.
Unless you're talking about the shoot down of that airliner over Russia.
I mean, that would probably make more sense in context.
Yeah. That show with it? No.
6 hours, what you were talking about.
Yeah, the handgun. Well, the manufacturer of the handgun. I think they're German, I believe they are. I'm not really sure. I gotta double check. Again,
6 hour focuses on their P320 pistol, particularly in relation to unintentional discharges and resulting lawsuits.
Yeah, I don't think that's relevant, considering that he deliberately blew that plane out of the sky. So it wasn't a discharge, unintentional discharge. And she knew we talked about how she knew she was going to get blown out of the sky. Even while she was talking to her, like, yep, you did the right thing. And smiled as she was blown to bits.
Here's bonus misquote due to exclusion of an entire second half of the phrase. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yes, I am also familiar with the full phrase. Now, I'm going to say that both chill with the blood thicker than water and this particular quote. And it goes to language. That, well, yes, that's the full quote. And that brings a different type of context. At the same time, the popular conception of both those quotes does give it its own meaning. So, how can I say this without sounding, well, more pedantic than I already am? Is that it is not wrong to interpret the first thing like, blood is thicker than water, as we normally think about it. Not because it's it's wrong and it's an incomplete quote, but it's the commonly accepted understanding. So if I say, oh, blood is thicker than water, it's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, even though the quote is incomplete, right?
It's ironic given previous discussion because that's
I know,
populism.
I'm aware. Yeah, but that applies to language, right? What we understand is, because language is symbology, right? If we both agree, well, if two or more people agree that something has a certain meaning, then it holds that meaning to them. Something doesn't have inherent meaning until the people involved agree on that meaning. Like I've been watching a lot of Dan McClellan's videos on the Bible. He's a scholar of the Bible.
Well, the
And
problem is
people's
I
like,
know that
oh,
name. I don't know where I know him from.
I mean, it's a pretty common name. I don't know if you might know this specific person. But the thing is that he often is like, oh, is there, monotheism in the Bible? Says, no, the Bible doesn't talk about monotheism. We have come to understand monotheism as being inherent to Christianity, and particularly to be in the Bible as we know it, but it's not there. It doesn't mean that we're wrong in that it would believe that modern Christianity is monotheistic, but we would be wrong if we were to go to the original source and make the claim that the Bible says about monotheism or lack thereof, right?
Well, I mean, Christianity isn't monotheistic. Well, I mean, depending on how you argue with the 3-in-1.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're just turning polytheism into monotheism.
A monotheism, he explains that it's actually a 17th century concept that originally was created to distinguish Christianity from a moral perspective to other Abrahamic religions. Like, oh, these other, especially Islam, oh, they're not truly monotheistic, and monotheism is the true way to go. And over time has become more scholarly approach. Like, oh, we now see religion in the modern sense, at least the Abrahamic faith, as monotheistic. So the original concept transformed, and as people adopted it, and the meaning changed. Actually, has a lot of fascinating videos if you have the time to watch them about multiple gods in the Bible and what meant to be in the 3rd section BCE, what it meant to be the God of Israel versus what we believe to be God today, and omnipotence and all that. And what I really find it fascinating is the evolution of belief as represented by the Bible itself, right? What different people wrote at different times and what they meant and how that was interpreted or reinterpreted later on within the Bible. So it is a historical document in the way that a mythological document or a text of mythology is. We see the evolution of thought and belief, right? Rather than it's a one-to-one representation of what really happened, 1,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago, whatever, right? So the commentary is not wrong. I'm not saying those are the accurate quotes. And when you add the extra part of the quote, it does change the meaning almost all the way to be the opposite of what people believe. Like if you work retail, oh, the customer is always right. But of course, the full quote is the customer is always right in matters of taste, which is a very narrow definition versus I am the customer and you have to do whatever I tell you because I'm always right, which is usually the way it is used.
Well, I mean, there's a matter of the element of the full statement has been lost to the customers just wanting to be right, to then coming back as it's being reintroduced as a statement of defense from, snarky retail workers who don't want that to be said to them anymore. So the fact that it's being reintroduced would then make the language change.
Exactly.
As people get more and more corrected, although I don't think it matters because now both statements are going to exist in the same reality for people who don't want to hear the other one. All right, well, those are the comments. Of course, we do have a board.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really changes on the board is Natalia is dead.
He and everyone else aboard that plane, but they were already dead by the bees. They got killed by the bees.
Only one of them was a named character, as far as I recall.
The bee. Actually, they were wasps. We kept saying bees, but in fact, they were wasps.
No, you kept saying wasps. I kept saying bees because the show called them bees.
Yeah, I think it's a mistranslation.
You said that too.
They were clearly wasps. It's clearly a wasp.
Regardless, they said bees. I don't control what the show says.
Also, bees wouldn't really work on. Well, I guess if you have enough bees, they would work. Because the tendency with bees is that they sting you and they die because their stingers get ripped off. So
maybe they're bees that they don't.
But wasps actually can keep on stinging you. Also, they tend to be larger.
I mean, maybe they're bees that don't, though.
Did I ever tell you about the 3 wasps that stung me in my inner leg?
No.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was wearing swimming trunks. I was coming from the beach. And somehow these 3, not 1, not 2, 3 wasps got right into my swimming trunks. Of course, I panicked. They stung me, flew off. Thank God it was just my inner leg. Still uncomfortable, painful, and somewhat a little embarrassing. But had they stung me a little higher, well.
I remember when I was a kid, I was out in the woods behind the neighborhood, still in sight of the townhouses that I was living near. And I picked up this piece of wood and just all over the place. I ran home stung all over.
Yeah,
I remember just like laying down on a couch for the rest of the day.
not pleasant at all.
Anyway, I believe that is everything other than the show itself. So let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Thank God nobody said anything. I just remembered to turn the subtitles to full and the language to Japanese. Because remember, the only person they're actually hiding this from is Saber. Or Artusia. Oh, sadly, I also just recalled that one of the only episodes of this whole Fate series that's blocked on our YouTube is episode 11, the one that I keep telling you was the best one.
No.
And a long list of episodes that I've just discovered on the channel have been blocked without me realizing it because I didn't get any notifications. But I'm so constantly having to edit other stuff that I would have to stop editing current releases to go back and to re-edit those. So I'm in a quandary.
It's interesting that the psychopath was matched with the most moral of the champions. The one who talks
He
about
wasn't matched.
Self-sacrifice. What do you mean he wasn't matched?
You pick yours, and if you don't have a thing to pick, you get matched.
Okay.
Like,
so he picked that
what's
one,
his?
yeah.
No. Even the child killer did it with a book. So similarly, the book was what picked that guy. I don't know. I know someone didn't pick them. No, remember they had King Arthur's sword scabbard. So they used to pick that. Waver had Alexander the Great's scarf thing because he stole it from the other guy, and that's why he summoned Alexander the Great.
The commentator said that he was a psychopath.
Yeah, and he wanted the best servant.
But he seemed to care about that girl that died. I mean, we're talking about this guy right here.
Yeah, which girl?
The one that in the village that turned into a.
Well, maybe that's what turned him into a psychopath.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the scabbard that I was just talking about.
Oh yeah, Arturia's scabbard for. The one that's supposed to kept Arthur alive.
Well, it has healing power. They already abused that in the show.
Also, he was willing to kill his mistress to save a lot more people.
No, he wasn't.
Huh?
He's never put his mistress at harm's way.
No, he remember he killed what I say mistress, the woman that adopted him and trained him.
That was his mistress. That was like a mother figure. What do you mean mistress? Don't use the word mistress. His mistress is that other woman that is with him.
Yeah.
Very nonchalant about all this.
Oh, he's a psychopath. She knows what she is. So
セイバーは
It was also the only thing
ライダ
keeping
ー
her
の
alive.
先に向かっているな。
no, she's dead. I know that she's dead.
No, the sheath
僕
was
は
keeping
父
her
さんと
going.
夢を仕留める。
Yeah, but now she's
セイ
dead.
バーがライダーとことを起こせば、アーチャーもその場に現れる降参が大きい。そこをつく。君は引き続き、アイリの警護を頼む。
わかりました。規律部。やっと戻りましたね。昔の
Yeah, I'm not liking you anymore.
Hmm.
Not that I was particularly on her side at any point whatsoever.
Of course, she's driving around in Aston Martin. Aston Martin, yeah. Of course, he means to cheat.
You mean cheat? You can
I'm
just
thinking-
kill the other people, you know.
Huh?
You can just kill the other people, you know. There's no cheating.
害が張られてない。
That's why one of them had servants was assassin. How would assassin work if you couldn't just kill people?
うまいのかそりゃ。
いや、まずい。日本の食文化もそこが知れるな。
坊主、貴様さっき神徒
Says the guy I assume is British.
陶器を素通りしよったな。あそこのモダン焼きは絶品であったというのに、惜しいことを。
また食いたい
Is
な
he just invisible right now?
実体化できるぐらいまで回復しろよ。ここがどこ
Because they can go invisible.
お前を召喚した場所だよ。お前にとって冬季で一番相性のいい地脈はここだろ。回復の効率も段違いにはかどるはずだ。僕は今日一日ここにいる。何もしないで寝てるから、死なない程度でいくらでも魔力を持っていけばいい。そうすればお前も少しはマシになるだろう。
And then he gets his brains blown off.
気づいたなら
why?
気づいた時にそう言えよ。
Isn't this guy hunting for him?
No, he's in front of the other guy's house. Wait. He's in front of the guy's. No, maybe he doesn't know. He's in front of the guy's house who just got stabbed the other episode. You know, the one whose daughter is Rin?
Yeah.
You remember it because that's the episode where Assassin went there and Gilgamesh just bodies him in the front yard.
踏ん張りが効くかと思っておったのだがな。川での戦闘の消耗が思いのほか答えてな。
結局お前の切り札って実はとんでもなく魔力を食いつぶすんだろ。最初は見過ごしてたよ。僕には全然しわ寄せが来ないから並外れて効率のいい宝具なのかと思ってた。ライダー。
As, of all the sleeping bags I've never been into one like that.
See him a lot in anime though.
Yeah, which makes sense. You don't want insects and stuff like that to crawl into it.
一体全体どういう料金だ。
だってな。まあ正味のところサーバントとしての世は生粋のソウルイーターであるからにして全開の魔力消費に坊主を巻き込めばその時は命すら危うくしかねんからな。
僕はそれでいいんだ。これは僕が始めた戦いだ。僕が血を流して犠牲を払ってその上で勝ち上がんなきゃ
I
意味
guess
がないん
Waver's
だ。
getting a backbone.
僕はな、ただ証明したいだけだ。この僕がこんな僕にだってこの手で掴み取れるものがあるんだってことを。
だが坊主、そいつは聖杯が本当にあった場合の話だな。要はな、以前にもそういうあるかないかもしれぬものを追いかけて戦ったことが。
I mean, this is the 6th Grail War. I have to assume that the Grail exists.
オケアノスを見せてやると。
I mean, that could be for what the Grail is not what people think it is.
ついてきたお調子者を随分と知らせた。皆最後まで世の語ったオケアノスを夢見ておった。 この時代の知識を得た時はまあ結構答えたわい。まさか大地が丸く閉じているなんて悪い冗談にも
That's not true. Greeks knew that the world was round. At least many of them did.
I don't know if they knew it during Alexander's age. I know it gets
No,
proven
they
later by,
definitely
shadow experiments and whatnot.
聖杯のありかが確かなら命を懸けようという貴様の意気込みに報いてやることもできようがあいにくまだそうとも言い切れぬ。
それでも僕はお前のマスターなんだぞ。
坊主、貴様も言うようになったではないか。
Because remember how timid he was early on.
普段より威勢よく回っとる。日中を休息に費やせば夜にはまた人暴れできそうだ。
で、人暴れって次は何やらかすつもりだ、お前。
そうさな。今夜はじゃあまずセイバーのやつでも相手にしてやるか。
Well, that would
調子
suck.
で夜までにどの程度回復できそうだ、お前。
ゴルディアスホイールの使用は飛ばすだけなら問題なかろう。だがアイオニオンヘタイロイはおそらく後
I very specifically say it would suck because, well, one, it's your character and my character. But two, your character is clearly the main character.
ライダー、なんでわざわざセイバー
I guess they're destined to win, I guess, because this is a prequel. Or maybe they are not destined to win. They could still lose, even the main character.
I doubt it. Quite obviously going to be Gilgamesh versus Saber. I don't know how else this thing could end. As much as I prefer Alexander, there's no way this thing isn't Saber versus Gilgamesh at the end.
まあ、好きにすればいいさ。
So, in my eyes, Iskander, going up against Saber or Gilgamesh means my guy's gonna die.
お前は誰だ?
Yeah, we haven't seen Berserker in forever. Well, I know that feeling. The difficulty here is without background context, people will just think I'm kind of kinky. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought that was a different person before we saw Berserker.
Ew.
Yeah, I thought that was the guy who stabbed the other guy a couple episodes back. Because he's not, like, falling apart like he is in reality, in the mental scape.
まったく随分なざまになり果てたのを借りやよ。勘違いするでないぞ。わしは何も責めておるのではない。正直なところ、まさか貴様がここまで食い下がるとは予想しておらぬんだ。そこで貴様にはわしがここ一番の局面に備えて秘蔵しておった切り札を授けてやる。さあ。
I imagine it's gonna be some sort of special bug. Well, there it goes. It's all bug related here.
Ugh.
Like that one Naruto character.
敵面じゃの。今貴様に飲ませた陰中はな、桜の純血を最初にすすった一匹よ。
Sounds like curious purity? Yeah.
Which can mean two different things in my book.
Yeah. But considering this, what we've seen already in this anime, yeah.
血肉も骨も残さず費やして聖杯をつかんだい。 貴様ごときにできるものならな。
ねえ、マイヤさん。
It's kind of stupid that this guy is posted up outside of a house with nobody in it. By this guy, I mean her future boyfriend.
自分の名前も思い出せない。久馬イヤという名前はキリツグが最初に作ってくれた偽造パスポートの名義です。
Well, that's not smart then. Maybe don't use the name on a fake passport as your now real name.
Oh, maybe the name that she answers to, but that's it.
そこがどうしようもなく貧しい国だったということだけ。戦争は決して終わらず、軍隊を維持する資金さえないのに、それでも殺し合いを続けるしかない毎日。そのうちに誰かが
I guess he's gonna go wandering in there and find the dead body. Or, possibly more interesting, he finds nobody.
マイヤさん、あなた。
敵を狙って引き金を引く。私はそういう機能だけを残して、あとは全てを捨て去りました。
I guess he didn't find anything, because remember that guy got stabbed right next to the door. He would have been found immediately.
Yeah.
それが私の命です。そんな私を拾ったのはキリツグだ。だからキリツグが好きなように使ってくれればいい。それが私がここにいる理由です。むしろ私には、マダム、あなたの熱意こそ意外だった。
Oh, never mind. I guess that wasn't the room I was thinking. I told you it was the more interesting thing. Goes back to my Durarara thing about getting stabbed. Sorry. Saw him lean down, and then we went to the next scene. There was a body and a person leaning.
Yeah.
The thing was about Durarara with if he just got stabbed, and we got shown that, and that happens. What's interesting?
マヤさんの言う通り、私はキリツグが変えようとしている世界のことをまるで分かってない。私の理想なんて何もかもキリツグの受け売りでしかないわ。でもキリツグには内緒。
Either that's a tea that he drank that.
Oh, it is.
Got him.
Oh, it's the tea that they were having together before they were about to leave for the flight.
Yeah.
But he didn't have his magic circuits destroyed like the other guy in the wheelchair, who you didn't get to see do anything magic.
確かにある。私はキリツグとセイバー、あの二人に聖杯をつかみ取ってほしい。
それは第三魔法の達成というアインツベルンの悲願ですか？
いいえ、私が求めているのは戦いの終焉よ。
This is the 6th Grail War. I don't think conflict's coming to an end anytime soon.
That getting the Grail doesn't end the conflict, since it appears again and again. Unless everybody failed the last.
Sorry, I said
times.
6th. She just corrected me at 4th.
Yeah.
Still, it's not the first, because then you would just call it the Grail War. Well, I have to assume that's probably what the next show is.
Also, Ilya is not human. She's also a...
Well, that's even more sad.
Yeah.
もし仮に命をつないだとしても、もう私に生きる意味はない。キリツグによって変革された世界というのは。
Oh, is he gonna find the mystic printing press thing?
そんなことはない。
そうでしょうか。
探さないと、あなたの本当の名前と家族を。
Part of me wants to say that's all the blood from where he was getting down there. The other half of me wants to say black lights show a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but he sprayed that, so he deliberately was trying to highlight something. Probably a reaction with blood. Otherwise, he just sees a.
Well, you'd think with that much blood there, there should be a trail where this guy went. Magic, maybe? Magical circuits?
Yeah.
Something?
Maybe. Oh, maybe the body's not there because the guy dragged the body.
I doubt that. I don't know why. I just doubt it. Here we are. Former assassin master. Oh, no. Called that wrong. That's right. We even just talked about this.
はい兵士をもって我が傀儡に命ずセイバー土蔵に戻れ今すぐに
I guess technically it is magic.
マヤセイバー喋ってはいけない早く
Go figure, the episode where I gave away my whole backstory would be the episode that I died in.
だがそれでは私は大丈夫
No, you're not.
すぐに切りつくだから早くマイヤどうか切りつぐが来るまで持ちこたえてくださいアイリスフィールド
She
必
won't.
ずや私が
Yeah, how much you want to say he's gonna be pissed because she saved the wrong one?
まさか本当にライダーが
Took you a long time to get here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
her
this is
eyes were. I thought her eyes were open.
ライダー
Yeah.
She was laying on the ground. I thought she was open eyes staring up.
分かった
ダメだよ泣いたら
I don't think he's capable of.
Well, he seems to be tearing up.
奥さんのために取っておいてここで泣いたらダメあなた弱いから今はまだ壊れちゃダメ
僕は
今朝やっと昔のままの規律がなったんだからこんなことで揺れたら
Get it? Waver? The master of the guy who just took your wife.
安心しろマイヤーあとはセイバーに任せろマイヤーお前の役目は終わりだ
By dying and letting her charge be taken by someone else? That seems like a
Yeah, you want you
Effective
want to
work.
say to somebody on their deathbed?
true, yeah, but
マイヤー
the assassin.
Lessons is one last thing I want you to know before you die. You sucked failing me the last time like you did.
Yeah.
The least you could
So
have
4
done was
episodes
thrown
to go,
yourself
yeah.
in front of the bullets.
I mean, he didn't shoot her. He just probably pointed
I
her
know.
very hard.
I'm saying in the hypothetical situation in which you died
Yeah.
and I was present to say final words to you in your last breath. Lessons. As your doctor, I feel it's my job to tell you your immune system sucks.
I mean, I already knew that, so
Right. But as final words go, right?
yeah.
Remember, anything you say, you're using your last breath to say back to somebody. You don't want to
Yeah.
be responding to someone like that. I mean, I guess it could be worst case scenario. Your final breath and you're trying to say your last words and it's somebody in the room who's trying their best not to pay attention to you. Please, tell them. Come back. Come back. Yeah, I don't like that their daughter is also a homunculus. Although, how the fuck does... No, that's right. She's half homunculus. I forgot. You introduced the fact that she's not human. I completely forgot that we already knew that. She's a half
Yeah.
homunculi, which means she has a limited lifespan. Longer than her mother, but not not long enough to get old.
アイリスフィールはどこだ。
忘れるなよ。今夜0時だ。我が思想を阻む者はない。
侮るなよ、制服を。
そいつのせいでその男さえいなければ。
怖い。
満足してる、カリエ君。
Meat on two wheels.
Well,
But
next
she's
episode's
alright.
gonna suck.
Hmm.
Again,
Gonna be.
you're the main character. I am not. As much as my character is better than yours, objectively, because I said that.
Yes.
Yes. I made a wish on a monkey's paw that I would have the best character. Unfortunately, it was a monkey's paw, which means he's gonna die. Give and take. Give and take with wishes. As I keep saying with Madoka Magica, you gotta be pragmatic with a wish. Which is to say, if you have a wish, just wait. Wait until you need it. And hope you don't get instantly killed, because if it's an instant death situation, the wish isn't going to help you.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually like this episode. Wasn't surprised that she was going to die, because she's like, death flag, death flag, death flag. By the way, did I tell you about my story? Death flag. You know?
Well, it wasn't a death flag before she told her story.
Yeah. But after that, whoops.
I would argue, with knowing that Iskander is about to die, he wasn't giving death flags.
Are we going to have a 3-day? Well, no, I think he's still recuperating, so it's not going to be a 3-way battle. Not yet.
No, probably Berserker is going to go fight
Alexander?
No.
So
the G. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm obviously distracted with other things now. My brain's not putting things together. Galapagos.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh. But wasn't Gilgamesh? No, Iskander was the one that kidnapped the homunculi. Which is weird, because she was dying already. It's like, I'm going to take... And he was willing to kill that. Well, why would he kill her, though? He just could probably just slap her around and she,
I don't think he's going to slap her around. I don't think he's going to do anything to her. He basically took a dying person who wasn't taking any moves to keep herself alive as well.
Yeah, no. But when he came in, he had his bodyguard. Bodyguard shoot at her and was like, you just take the gun and go like, you can't hurt me. Boom.
Well, she didn't hurt him.
Exactly, but he did kill her, the bodyguard.
She was trying to kill him.
But he can't. But he knows he can't.
Why can't she?
Oh, they're not immune to bullets, and
as far as I know, I think they're just as susceptible to everything. They're just like super powered individuals, right? Like, you can still shoot a Black Canary. She's still susceptible to bullets. She's just a super powered individual. You're just less likely to shoot her. Peter Parker is still penetratable.
Sure he is.
Gotta pay that troll toll. You want to get in that boy's hole.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. This episode, interesting. I want to see what the fight we have. If we're going to continue with the episodes, we only have 4 episodes left until the end of the second core. If they're 24, 12, 24, 36.
Well, there's 25, but yeah, we still only have 4, despite the math.
Yeah. 21, 22, 23, 24. But, yeah. There you have it. No, we didn't get any major revelations in this episode, or except for the whole bug thing. But besides that, it
wasn't a major revelation. We know that he's been doing the bug thing the whole time.
Yeah.
And we know that he was alive because the other guy healing magicked him.
Yeah.
The only revelations we got this episode were to be reminded of stuff that we already knew.
So, there you have it.
All right. Well, that said, once again, I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?